sometimes what exactly I am, but this was part of me. And for the local community here in Dartford, and we continue pushing efforts to help Dartford become even better than we met it. And I've only just come, how long ago? I don't know, 10 years ago or so. So yeah, here on stage is Chinedu Atlas. Atlas is his name. And he's an illustrator, comic artist himself. He was here last year. He done awesome last year, and he won a comeback. You know, he won a callback, so we called him back again this year. And yeah, I will let he's just gonna touch on a few things in a couple of minutes because we don't have time any longer. We're just gonna carry on. But I promise you that this is not the end of this yet. We're gonna come back stronger next year and further many, many years. And yeah, thank you so much. I'll hand it over back to Chinedu. Cheers. Atlas.
Hello, good afternoon. Yeah, my name is Chinedu Atlas. I'm a comic book illustrator. I'm the creator artist of the book Gago. So basically, I just want to give you a quick rundown on what a storyboard is. So a storyboard is a visual representation of a story or maybe an idea you want to bring into life. And it's not just about comics. So the point of this short presentation is not to impress you, rather to teach you. So basically, a storyboard can be used for anything. It could be used for video games. It could be used for advertisements. If you're into advertising, everything you see in an advert is born from a storyboard. Anything you see in a movie, you just don't say, oh, the cameraman is good, he takes different shots. Everything was from the screenplay that was written, or maybe from a short draft like this that was written, and then a storyboard artist took that idea, put it into visuals, and then you can change a few things with the writer and the director before you shoot. So yeah, so it's not, don't just think it's all about comics here for this presentation. So yeah, and so if you look at the screen here, so this is like a one-page idea on what we're trying to do. So a panel basically is like, panels are, for example, in comics, they are boxes which you use to distinguish different scenes that you want to put into action or you want to put into for the audience. So, for example, if you look at this, the first part here is a panel. The second part is a panel. The third part is a panel. So I'm going to show you this on screen right now. So, yeah. So could you take it off? Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
My apologies once again.
Yeah, hello, yeah. All right, so one thing to know with art is whatever it is you want to illustrate, there are basic shapes we use to illustrate anything we're doing with art. For me, any other artist can use a certain shape if they like, but the basic shape, circle, rectangle, square, what have you, we use them to do any illustration. So now, the first thing we saw on the screen was a sheet, okay? The sheet said a little 11-year-old girl with surprise on her face. So now, when you get that from a writer or from a script writer or anybody, now you want to action that. So now look, for example. So this is the script you saw earlier. This is the final work on that script, okay? So I want to walk you through how we get from that script to this final job, okay? So now, here's a sample. Like you can see my basic shapes. The head is done with a circle. You can see the upper torso here. This is done with a square. Here we have a rectangle. And of course here we have a cylindrical shape and another cylindrical shape over here. Now, this is the upper torso. These are the arms, you can see. We use a cylinder for this one. We use a square here. And for the little fingers, okay? Now, looking at the script again, just let me read that for 1 minute. It says, we see an 11-year-old girl, her face showing fear and surprise, emitting a magic sigil from her left hand. The camera should use a slight side angle to mimic the audience's perspective and draw them into the scene. Now, reading that, this is what we can come up with. Okay, every other detail will be put in later on, but for the storyboard basis and for what the writer has given to us, this is what we can come up with. And then the second panel, for example, the second panel here states, it says, a close-up view of the girl's face with sweat, and a close-up view of her face from behind, and she's sweating, okay? Now look, so you can see this is the little girl's face here, okay? So the same things, the basic shapes we use. So for the head, we use a circle, and here we use the box again, or a cylinder or a square shape here to get this part. Now this is a second panel, like I said. The panels are used to distinguish both each scene to draw you to. So for example, if you're doing a movie or anything, and then you see in the movie there's something called an establishing shot. An establishing shot is when you're doing a scene, you want to take the audience from outside into the scene. For example, if I were to be writing a scene about this place, the first shot, the first panel here is going to start from outside the building, and then I draw you in. So it's like you are walking through with me, just the same way it is as when you walk into the building. So when you're doing a scene, you want to draw people's attention the way it should be in chronological order. So here, we have done the establishing shot where we say, okay, the girl is here, there's no background, nothing. The effects and the magic sigil is going to be the background. That's going to come in later. And then here we say, oh, a close-up view on her face, because we cannot start the scene with her face first, but rather we show a little bit more of her body, and then we draw you closer in the second panel there to show her face. Okay, this is how storyboarding works. This is how even writers, this is how it's done. Okay, you don't start from, for example, you're doing a movie or anything, you don't start from the end and work to the beginning. So you want to show everything, and then you bring the audience into the scene proper. You don't start the scene from close-up view and take it out. No, you start from outside and bring it closer into whatever it is we are shooting on site or what the scene is about. Okay? The third panel says, a close-up view of Gago's face with surprise on his face. A close-up view of Gago's face looking surprised. He cannot believe what he's seeing. So this is what we were able to come up with. You can, like I said, this is just my own perspective. Another artist could interpret this script in a different way. But this is how I chose to interpret it, okay? And once this is done, for example, and then I send this over to whoever wrote the script or the screenplay writer, if it's an artist or if it's for a movie, for an advertising or for advertisement, you send it over to the copywriter and everything. They look at it, they approve it, and then they can say, okay, why don't you illustrate this out and let's see what's next. So for example, once we finish this sketch, this is just, like I said, to give the writer or anybody who's going to give an approval a visual representation of what we want the page to look like. And then they say, okay, we've approved this. Why don't you move on to detailing this out? We like the perspectives. When I say perspectives, I mean the camera angles. We like the camera angles. We feel that, okay, you have depicted what we intend or what we're going for. And then we say, okay, why don't you flesh it out and, do the line work or do the details. So when you want to, because of time, we cannot do the details. So when you want to do the details, this is what you're going to get next, okay? Now you see, okay? So you can see all our shapes we used earlier, everything, the circle, okay? The squares here, the arms, the cylinder, everything. All here have now come to make this character. Now look, so just in case you are trying, now look, this is the raw script. This is what we approved, and then we are going to the line artwork to, to get a more detailed visualization of what we have in mind. And that's here, this is what we come up with. We say, okay, so now this is the first panel. We see the magic symbols. We see everything. We see all the details. Everything looks right. Look, the second panel, we can see the sweat on the face, just like the script said, and everything. And then here, we can see the character with surprise on his face. This is what we did initially. This is what we did initially. And then this is what the detailed work looks like here. We're okay with that. We want to move to the last panel. And for example, if you read the script again on the last panel, what does it say? It says, the camera shows both characters from behind, each poised in an action scene. They prepare to attack the entity that is being summoned before them. Okay? Now, this is the entity being summoned before them. Here, this is the entity being summoned before them. These are the characters. Here. Okay, we are happy with that. So then we go into the details. Now you can see, this is what we were able to come up with from the basic shapes we've worked with. So now, when this is sent out, and then we say, okay, this has been approved, we like this scene, we want to go with this one. So why don't you, let's put the colors in, and then we begin to talk about the colors. So sometimes another script can be written for how they want the colors to look like, or you could leave it to the discretion of the colorist and say, okay, I give you creative license to do whatever it is you want to do, however it is you want to do it, just make it make sense. And then, okay, say, okay, how are we going for the magic? Well, do we want, the theme also matters. The theme says how exactly it is the scene is. What is the scene about? It's magic, but it's not dark magic. So we don't want dark colors. It's a little girl. You need to put that into perspective, the fact that it's a little girl. Children love colors. We need something colorful, we need something bright to attract the readers, to attract kids, because it's a child in the scene. So then what would the color artist do? Then he uses bright colors. Okay, yeah, we can see yellow, we can see green, we can see red. Uses bright colors to make the scene as colorful as possible. Now we can see the smoke coming out of it. Now here, just in case, sorry. So this is what it looks like close up. We can see everything, all the details that were in the script, we can see them in. Remember what our script looked like. This is what we started from. This is what we started from. We've gone from this now to this, okay? So everything needs to be detailed. It needs to look as right as possible as we want it to look. And then, so that's how we go from a simple sketch or from a script to getting a finished work. So basically, this is just an idea. This can be used for video gaming. It can be used for movies. It can be used for cartoons. It can be used for animations. It can be used for advertising. It can be used for basically anything. So this is how you want it to work. So remember, even in terms of comic books, the angles you see here, the perspectives you see here, we imagine it as a camera, for example, as camera lens. So here we say, if this were to be a movie, for example, the cameraman is going to be standing right here, and the character or the actor is going to be standing where this little girl is. The shots need to come from the same place. mind you, how did we come about that shot? It's not just because the cameraman feels comfortable standing in this angle and the girl just happens to be there and just shooting the movie, or because the director feels it's okay. No, what the director feels must come from the screenplay. The screenplay stated the original thing that they wanted to be shown in this scene. And remember, when the storyboard artist did it, this is what he came up with. So this is where the camera angle is. So the cameraman can't just leave here and go and shoot this scene from directly in front of the camera, because that's not what the script said, and that's not what the storyboard artist has done. So you need to be consistent. So when you're making a movie, you're making a video game, you're making anything, remember, whatever it is, or maybe you're reading a comic book, wherever you see the artist drawing from, it's not just because he feels comfortable drawing from there, it's what was written. So everything starts from the writing. So if you're a writer here, or you are an enthusiastic artist, or you want to be an artist or anything, or you are into advertising, or you're a copywriter, this is where it starts from. It starts from you. So to an extent, you dictate what the artist does. You know what you want to see. So if you're making this a movie, for example, as a screenplay writer, the story writer is quite different from the screenplay writer. The story writer comes up with the story itself. The screenplay writer now breaks that story into scenes. So those scenes are what we represent with panels, like I said. A panel are these boxes that separate each scene. So the screenplay writer is going to break them to say, oh, in this scene, she's standing here, she's summoning something, and you can see the magic sigils and everything. The cameraman then stands in this same position. So, for example, you're hiring a cameraman, you don't need to tell him where to stand. When he goes through the storyboard, he knows exactly where he needs to be. So this helps the actor to stand in the right position. This helps the cameraman to stay in the right place, and the cinematographer and every other person, and the director. It's easier for everyone to work in tandem when they know exactly what they want to see. So hopefully, I hope this helps broaden your imagination, or broaden your understanding of what it is like when we see an advert on screen. Maybe it's whatever kind of advert it is, or what, if it's an animation, maybe it's a children's cartoon or anything. Everything starts from the storyboard. Nothing goes on screen without the storyboard. So from there, we get every other thing, and we'll get the final details. Thank you. So does anybody have a question, please?
Please speak now or forever remain silent. So you see, it's a little bit of a struggle earlier on, but we got there eventually. You guys gave a round of applause, which means that, thank you so much, which means that if we got things right from the start like we wanted to, it will be an even better experience. I tell you what, we had pencils, not just to fill the forms, but we had some boards there in case you wanted to draw along. The plan was to do a little bit of storyboarding, and you could just draw along, right, if you could. But unfortunately, we should do something like this again, just not this main one, which is once a year. We'll do something like this again, and we have opportunity. He's not too far away. He lives in the UK, not somewhere in Scotland he's come from. Is that so? No, it's just in London there somewhere. Yeah, so thank you so much, Atlas. Is there a question before we go straight to the screening of the animated shorts? One thing I'd like to add is this might be comics. Let me go on stage. This might be comics. We've seen what this is, but this is not any different from how your movies is done or how animation is done. You start with a storyboard, and then, well, you don't start with a storyboard. You start with a whole lot of other things, but let's start with a storyboard now. Now start to draw. The man does hands like this, the girl does legs like that, and then you have an idea. He doesn't get to this, yeah, it comes from rough sketches like this, and then you're like, no, I want him to come from there. And that's why things like this could take months, maybe years. Well, for independent artists who are working on it all alone, Little Funds, which is most of those people we're showing up today, all working on it all alone. It could take months. They might have to do something that brings them real money, then come back to this and all those things. It's often passion projects, and that is why I am passionate about it, because if we have the opportunity to showcase people from Africa or Africans in other countries, and you know what, the surprising thing is, the funny thing is today, in this edition now, we had people from China, America, US, somebody from Italy, somebody from, is it Turkey or something? They sent in entries, and I'm beginning to think that, you know what, we don't have that slot for them now, but going on from next year, we might have a foreign slot. Okay, it's still the African animated short experience and comics, but we have a foreign slot, which are all these independent artists, individual, and then we just give them a slot there. But we started from next year, but we had about 6 entries, and they were good. You know, so it's amazing. So this is how the process goes. It could take you months, it could take you years, like I said, but you don't get to this. This is for comic guys, you get this final product. But for animation or for movies and whatever, you only stop at an earlier stage where you have the idea because you're not going to get to this final stage. But it's not any much different. And as he has explained, that's what it is. I'll keep quiet now, and then can I ask a question? Do you, let's give a round of applause to him again. Thank you so much, Atlas. Appreciate your time. Thank you so much. And his family's here, and wife and kids. Thank you so much for coming around. First time I'm meeting you, ma'am. God bless. Thank you. Right. Can I ask a question? Should we go straight into the animation right now, screening, or do you want to have some refreshment break? I can vote already. My vote is no refreshment break yet. Let's start watching some things, and then in under 15 minutes we get to that. Is that good enough? Don't worry, I'm the one with the microphone. You don't argue with me, do you? All right. So we're starting with the very first. We're starting with the very first animation right now, and I don't remember what the list is, but we're going to start with the very first one on the list at the back there. I think that is the Crusader. Excuse me. That is the Crusader. Now, the Crusader is the first time anybody outside of the creators is going to see it. It is still a work in progress. It is working towards a bigger movie. So this is a teaser, all right? And the next one there from memory is going to be Benin. That is like a game, right? It's like a game animation. Again, also a teaser is also going to start. This is just telling you what is about to come. So there are your question and your marking guides there. These first two are not part of that because they're teasers and they're just introducing. Crusader is going to be on, what's it called, Kickstarter, I think next week or 2 weeks. But you have the privilege to see it. That's why you come to this event. Okay, it's going to be out there. And then when the funding is, what do you call it? When you hit the fulfillment, what's that word again used on this crowdfunding things? Once it's fulfilled, say again? Once you hit the target, they have another word to use. But whenever you hit that target of when it's funded, then it will be, could take another year or so to get produced. So you get to sit down now. I'll step away and you only hear my voice maybe. Thank you so much. Enjoy. Thank you so much. And that is the quick one. And I'm very, very anticipatory of that, but let them get funded first. He's from Ghana. This is from Ghana, by the way. So you're not going to hear my voice on and on after everything, but that was just to talk about this. This is from Ghana, and they're trying to raise some funds to go on Kickstarter, and then we get that done. But I'll let you carry on the next one, which is Benin. That's from Nigeria. buy. So there is a wait list somewhere, and like I said, this is a game animation, and we haven't got to start exploring that aspect in this event, but we will get there. This is a totally different genre on its own. The gaming world, even though it's animation, entirely different. I think the budget is even bigger than animation itself because everybody plays games. But what is stunning is the engines and the tools that is used to produce what you have there compared to the other ones that we have, Unreal Engine and all of those things. It's just crazy. It's just beautiful. Well, those are just like the experimental slot, and now we start the actual animation produced by individuals or studios or a group of people. But before we go on that, can we go to Endegena first, please? The reason I want to go on Endegena is this studio is from Ethiopia, right? And yeah, and they won the very, very first edition of this show 2 years ago. And we played this at that time, Endegena. But there's a couple of Ethiopian stroke Eritreans here. Apologies, I know you're not the same, but you're like Nigeria and Ghana. They're not the same, but they're the same. Sorry. Wait a minute. We're too far away from each other, Nigeria and Ghana. Come on. You are closer. You're like neighbors. Yeah. So we're talking of Nigeria, Benin, Nigeria, Cameroon. Yeah, those are kind of neighbors. But for some reason, it's the Ghana people that they say we look like the most, which is okay. I don't mind. Me, I'm a Ghanaian already. You're a Ghanaian too. Beautiful. Adopted. Okay. That's why you say you were lost on your card earlier on. I see. There we go. Yeah, let us play Endegena quickly, and then we carry on the other. Now, this is from 2 years ago, so we're not marking this, but yeah, maybe if you want, you can. Ask, I'm going to do something. Don't forget, I am African, as you might be able to tell. Western African, anything Ethiopia, Eritrea, even talk about Sudan, South, and all those things. They're north, kind of north to the right of it. I don't know. If I am the map, then it should be to the left. But if I'm looking at the map, it should be, God. Anyway, so I am going to quickly invite the Eritreans here. The closest to me is Base here. Please step forward and just tell us how you pronounce that. I was saying I'm West African for a reason. I lost that thought almost. I may not pronounce it properly. So please go on. Please stand. Come forward. Come forward and tell us your name. Tell us if your interest, what you ate this morning, all those things.
Oh boy. Just put me on the spot.
Just tell us anything about the pronunciation of the name, the studio pronunciation. You're Eritrean yourself, right?
Yeah, but the pronunciation of it is Indegana.
Okay.
not je. Indegana means like, yeah, it's kind of again. Come on then.
So yeah, this is an Eritrean person. I'm glad you are here and something from your place is being played. Eden, do you want to? You don't want to? All right, that's fine then. Okay, you want to go? Come over. Let's give her a little round of applause. That's not Eden, by the way. That's her daughter. Go on. What do you do? I don't know. Tell us your name.
My name's Ariana.
Do you speak the language?
Oh, my mom's teaching me, but I don't know yet.
Mommy, do better. But Ariana, thank you for stepping forward. That was brave of you. Give her a round of applause, please. Appreciate it. And is there another Eritrean family there? You're welcome. Madam, you just walked in not long ago with your daughter. Thank you. We just played something from your country now, but we're not going to... Well, they're from Ethiopia, but yeah, that thin line there. But yeah, thank you so much. I'm going to carry on now, and we'll just play... I think we got Fearless next. That's from Nigeria. Write the name there, please. Score it. So one of the greatest wrongs you can commit against artists and creatives is to not let the credit scroll go through, because that's what gives them the right. So we have to let this roll. But thank you so much. Well, that is Fearless, a young man in Nigeria. He actually studied architecture, you know, and he's doing his PhD right now in building and architectural stuff, you know. But there you go. He's created that. So there's no limit to what you can do with the skills you have. Architecture into animation, but still in architecture. You know, as long as you can create the time to learn, to understand, and to be creative, imaginative. That's all it is. We go on the next one, and I think after this, there'll be example. Children might like this a bit, so yeah. But there's always a message there, even for adults. Thank you.
This is not what I ordered. I asked for a triple extra chocolate export cupcake layered cookie and jammy hot buttons.
We can score this one as well.
We came for the 50% discount. This isn't worth it. But we're still going to wait, right? Of course! It's a 50% discount.
Yeah, man. What's that smell?
Oh, good. You're awake.
Where am I?
What does it look like? You had a major breakdown. You cracked.
No, it can't be. I'm never going out again.
You can't hide forever.
Watch me.
I think you need a therapist.
Will she fix my face?
That's not how therapy works.
Have you ever seen a cracked egg walking around Exville? I'm an outcast. A walking dead. A curse. And besides, African eggs don't do therapy. We swallow pain. We are hard-boiled. Nothing gets in.
You have seen the therapist. I already called her.
What? You've never seen a therapist before?
You're broken.
Not broken, cracked.
Every cracked egg is broken.
Not me. When I was cracked, I hid, just like you. I thought if no one saw me, I wouldn't have to bear it. But I started to rot. So I stepped into the sun, embraced it. I went back to work. And the more I lived, the more my cracks turned to gold. You know what the best part about being a broken egg is?
I didn't order this!
I know, but it's better.
Nothing breaks you anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. I know this looks like something for children, but I think the message there was apt. There's a difference between being cracked and being broken. And when somebody felt they were broken and they hid and they said, no, I am cracked, you can still see the sign there, but I've gone past it. Well, I wouldn't say anything further. That was from Nigeria, and welcome to the studio. We'll go straight to, now this next one is beautiful. Atlas, I'm going to need you, please come forward a second. Come forward a second, please. So, now, this is a, you know Comics D. What's his full name again? Apologies if you're watching, I just forgot your name. Makinde, Ayodeji Makinde, there we go. He's actually from my tribe, part of Nigeria, and his name just Ayodeji Makinde. Comics DI, he's the next person. The reason I called you forward is you know him. He's a comic artist as him. I think one of his books is there, and his books is there too. What you're going to see now, how are we going to watch a comic, an illustrated comic, as an animation? So there is that line where things that people like him does, they now begin to learn a bit of animation and bring it into that mix. So you can animate a little part of the item, not the whole thing, just a little part. So it means that you can be a comic artist like he is, and you can still foray into animation a little bit and bring both together. And with the way we're going to with AI and everything, no knowledge is lost. So tell us a bit more about that idea. Where comic, are you into that yourself?
Okay, yeah, so basically what he's trying to say is motion comics. Motion comics is, you could say, a borderline between comics and animation. So you're a little bit more advanced than a normal comic book artist, but you're not quite an animator yourself. So you make slight changes in your comics or in your art for there to be some sort of motion, for there to be some sort of movement. And it gives a little bit more immersion to your comic books. So that's what he's trying to say. So it's like a meeting point between a a more advanced comic book artist but not yet an animator. So like an intermediary, that middle is where you come for motion comics.
Thank you so much. He said it better than I do, but I promise you I know what I was trying to say. You know, I promise you I know it. But yeah, he said it. Thank you for being the mouthpiece. Yeah, we're going to go on Alamo. Unfortunately, where is he now? Is he in Scotland? Yeah, I love Scotland. Second time I'm talking about Scotland, and I got it right. He's in Scotland. He can't be here. So, but we would see how he has blended comics and animation. Just a warning, there's a lot of Pidgin English in there and some Yoruba, okay, which is what I speak originally, right, and still speak anyway. So enjoy it, and if you don't understand, just try and understand. Thank you.
Yeah, people. They can't release my mama the moment where I put my hand for their useless paper. But it can't be like, say, I no just get ending. The thing be like saying I'm from fire pan to fire. The pain of buffalo death, together with the police palaver. Come bring back my mama health wahala. Waiting the doctor call that thing again, sef. Yeah, hypertension. From police station, she can't land straight for hospital.
Hey, Alamu, pay the catch me, oh. You sure say your mama no go land post station, the way things they go. Because I still no sabi how you want to grace that 8 mila. Where Oshadi don't say go collect point car for 6 months. School pa, you know they go again after Buffalo die. Job ma, you know can get. Abi, you get magic where you want perform, where I no sabi.
See, Aminu, your intelligence no pass that Okada way they drive. Just chill out, Jare. They watch season film. I get plan. And this not my plan. If you come and say they stupid or a crazy plan, now the time go tell. My plan is start from that Isonu mechanic village. Isonu, funny name. Now people name am Isonu because of the many wahala wey dey always happen between customer and mechanic. Because of car wey they no repair well. But e never finish for there. Just come with me, more gist dey. The world of Isonu, they very big. As car gets plenty wahala, wey one man no fit fix. Now so the mechanic village get different workshop wey focus on several aspects of a car repair. Hey, I see as I sound like saying I be professor. Hey, you dey feel abi? Hey. We get Raimi, the vulcanizer. Now him dey jack tire, him dey do alignment, repair tire wey in life still dey manageable. And they also gauge tire for a customer. He can't get Ojuku. Ojuku na the one and only auto electrician for his son. Now that one we they call the wirer. Anything we concern electrical fault for a car. Fuel pump, indicator problem. Now Ojuku work be that. You know if you go Isonu, come miss out the upholstery. Now Farouk be that. Now in the repair internal panel of car door, ceiling and car seat, anything for interior. Farouk na your guy. Now baba for that area. You want know the real powerhouse for Isonu Mechanic Village? No be the shop of Samu, the battery charger. And he no be the shop of Ikena, the car washer man. Now just one place he be. I be no one guess. Ah, you know fit. Na Iyasidi Alamalabuka. Chai, wait till you no go see for there. Is it hot amala we won't talk? Or the abula and egusi we palm oil they dance around her. She get original pomo. We correct soup don't enter and where. Assorted. We know they carry last. And correct goat meat. Where they authentic. Now when men don't chop better food, you go to hear them they argue on top Premier League for the place.
How dare you compare Arsenal and Man U? What you want cause that one? I beg if not joke, stop am. Why I no go compare? Man U fit stand where Arsenal dey. Come and see game where we play last night. See bullet shots where Lacazette fire. Omo, Man U head no dey there, forget.
You know if you talk about Isonu Mechanic Village finish without mentioning the number 2 auto mechanic for the place, Oga Naira. My papa's strongest competitor and enemy for Isonu. It be like say my waka for Isonu don't end for here. But now for here, my story takes starts. Now here I won't let mechanic work. Because now only Oga Naira sabi this mechanic work well. After my papa for the whole of Isonu. From here I go scout for my own rich customer for a papa. Codedly. Come raise money, pay that short man devil. You think say I crazy, Abi? Hey, why I go on work for my papa competitor? Forget competition. I dey more interested in waiting I want learn jare.
No be Alamu. Buffalo pikin be this. Wait till you dey find for my workshop.
Yeah, the one you just saw is Alamu, so if you want to score that, write the name down. How was that experience? It's speaking English and some of my language. And if you weren't reading the subtitle, apologies, but let me come to the obvious. Sue, Caroline, and yourselves, sir and ma'am, Judy and yourself, don't know your name, sir. If you weren't reading the subtitles, do you understand anything? Maybe. Say again? You need the subtitles on the top of a screen. Okay. And yourself? You did understand a few things. Beautiful. And that's without the subtitles. Because it's English, just modified English. So let's do that vote again quickly. Do we want to go have some refreshment? Say again? The first animation, what's the name of the first animation again? Fearless, yeah. The first one we saw, we're not marking it, that's the Crusader. That's the Crusader, followed by Benin. Those are our pilot and teasers for what is to come, right? And then we started with Fearless. Yeah, and then, and Endangered, yeah, no, let's leave Endangered out. Let's leave it out. I just brought that in for our audience on that side. So yeah, should we have a break now? Do we want to do that, or do we want to see something? Break. food break? Okay, yeah. Not too many left, but let's have a break. So if we fall into the arena there, and there'll be a few things to eat and add. While I'm here, I was just talk about this. You know, I spoke about the lady earlier on, but here is what she does. I think the books are this leaflets are there, or you can talk to her about it there online. But this is Murphy's Adventure. This is a book 3, a teaser edition. See, there are many teasers around. So the style is it's manga inspired. She says, "Boy, it's not entirely manga," but that's it. Speak to her right here after the after. I wanted to say after the service, and I realized that's not true. But yeah, speak to her after. Please feel free to get off your seat and have one or two things, so we can be here maybe 3:30. You know, roughly 15 minutes off. And or you hear my voice, and once you hear my voice, you drop everything and start running down. Thank you.
Gbogbo tí ẹ ṣe fún wa, àwọn tó fẹ́ wá ó dùn mọ́ wọn. Àwa ò bínú ẹnìkan, ènìyàn bínú ẹnìkan mọ́. Ọjà Òyìnbó kò mọ̀ pé nìkan wá o. Bọ́kọ̀ kan ò retí rìn, ẹgbẹgbẹ̀rún rẹ̀ á lọ. Ṣùgbọ́n bàbá ṣẹ̀wọ̀n o, àgbàgbà máa forí jì wá o. Ṣùgbọ́n tá a bá ṣẹ̀wọ̀n o, àgbàgbà máa forí.
Sorry, everybody, you still relax, don't worry. I just wanted to say this quickly. If you can see me, line of sight, can you see that girl up there on the screen? Yes, no? So, this is supposedly what she's holding, although it's not what it is. So I want to invite everybody, take this from me, take it everywhere, take a pose, take a picture with it, you know, do like, how is she doing that now? Like that? Whatever it is, and just feel free to have that, you know, it's like, just bringing some jazz to the day, to the event, some nice. So who's the first taker? Feel free to take pictures, send it to me. Official photographer couldn't make it today, last minute, unfortunately they dropped out. So, you know, things always go the way they want to go. But thank you. Hope you're enjoying. All right, we got about 5 more minutes. Start rounding up so we can go. 5 more minutes. We're gonna carry on. We'll try to avoid making this place dirty. If there's anything on the floor, let's pick it up. I beg you. Because then they'll make me clean it. I don't know how to clean properly.
Zombie not go unless you tell him to go. Zombie not go stop unless you tell him to stop. Zombie not go turn unless you tell him to turn. Zombie not go think unless you tell him to think. Zombie, oh zombie. Zombie, oh zombie. Zombie not go unless you tell him to go. Zombie not go stop.
While we are here, may I ask if you have not registered, on the Eventbrite link, please take some time to register on the Eventbrite link so that I can have some sort of database and reach out to you. Anything else coming, and then for some reporting on my side as well, please. So we got less than 5 minutes, and hopefully at that point we have all our food things away from this space.
No break, no job, no sense. Go and kill. Go and die. Go and quench. Put up all the verse. Go and quench. Go and kill. Go and die. Put up all the verse. Go and die. Go and quench. Go and kill. Put up all the verse. Joro jara joro. Zombie when I want way. Joro jara joro. Zombie when I want way. Joro jara joro. Zombie when I want way. Joro jara joro. Attention, big match, slow match, left turn, right turn, about turn, double up, salute, open your hands, stand that is, fall in, fall out, fall down, get ready, attention, quick match, slow match, left turn, right turn, about turn, double up, salute, open your hands, stand that is, fall in, fall out, toss! Order! Attention, quick match, slow match, left turn, right turn, back turn, double up, salute, open your hands, stand that is, fall in, fall out, fall down, get ready, attention, quick match, slow match, left turn, right turn, about turn, double up, salute, open your hands, stand that is, fall in, fall out, fall down, get ready, hot! Order! One more time, everybody. Attention, quick match, slow match, left turn, right turn, about turn, double up, salute, open your hands, stand that is, fall in, fall out, fall down, get ready, attention, quick match, slow match, left turn, right turn, about turn, double up, salute, open your hands, stand that is, fall in, fall out, fall down, get ready, hot! Order!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's about time we started again. If you were not here when I spoke earlier on, I said there's that little girl that was on screen earlier on. She was holding something like this. So feel free to come get it from me and post like she's posting and take a picture. You know, it's just going to help this event have a bit more legs and arms and more interesting when people see pictures. Like I said, the photographer dropped out last minute. So I'll rely on your individual pictures and photograph. There's a card on there which has my number on it and emails on all those things. Forward it through in all those places. But thank you, everybody. we will start right now. Once again, my name is Debo, AWA Network, and this is the African Animated Shorts and Comics Experience. We've come through the first stage. We've come halfway in the second part, which is the screening. And one thing quickly, I don't know what conversations we've been having, but somebody pulled me out earlier on when we showed the example that talked about being cracked and broken. Do you remember? And someone pulled me aside quickly and said, you know what, this is spot on, because especially for when we say our community, I'm referring to us that most likely have traveled into this country, us like that. And we shy away from that topic of mental health. And she just pulled me to say, while she works with the NHS, and say, this is the area I work in, and what she just shown in animation, you remember when I was talking about it, I said, the kids might like this one because of the way it was done, but the message is still real. And guess what? The message is actually in alignment with somebody who works in that area, and he says, this is an aspect that we have to talk about more. So by all means, there she is. Please stand up or raise your hand or something. That's his, please tell me your name again. Eva. Right, that's a Ugandan person. I think we got an Ugandan animation there, actually. I think we got one. So that's Eva from Uganda. But she didn't come all the way from Uganda for this event, though. She lives in, say again? Hextable. Thank you for coming all the way. I don't know how far that is, but I know it's a bit far. The way it sounded, Hextable, looks far. So, yeah, thank you for coming from Hextable. And that is a topic that you've raised, and that's brilliant. Without any further ado, we will carry on. Wait, this is Twano. Is Twano Ugandan? I'm not sure. No. Now, before we carry on this, Twano is an anthology. It's 3 animations in one. So you're going to see one, you're going to see a second, you're going to see a third. One thing I didn't see at the start is animation is people's stories, people's experiences, people's point of views. Nothing is meant to be offensive, and I hope nothing has been. But then if you see it from a point of view of people telling their own stories, especially this type of animation, not just children bouncing on a trampoline kind of animation, then you will understand where we're going to. So I'll let Twano roll, and it takes you back to South Africa, when Zimbabwe, when it was Rhodesia. It tells you stories. It's an anthology. That means more than one animated short in one. So enjoy it. It looks like we could play directly from this. Yeah, we have a little bit of each. I will figure that out in a bit. Let's go to another one. So this one is importantly, please, if you have cameras and phones, importantly, we can't record this one, and it's not going to be live streamed as well. So if you're listening on live stream, you have a couple of minutes that you won't see any of this. This is from Lucasfilms, the makers of Star Wars and all those things, and they've given us this a special grant. I'm playing it directly from their link, okay, all for security purposes. So we're not allowed to film, we're not allowed to record, no photography, except you want to see me behind bars, which is not bad, you know. I could stay there 1 or 2 years. No, I don't want to. So, yeah. So our song is going to play. An alien child who longs to sing is raised by her loving but stern access to this from Lucasfilm. So Lucasfilms, if you can see or hear me, nobody saw it other than us here, all right? Thank you. So, yeah, that Triggerfish did that animation. You saw the name at the end. I used to work at Triggerfish in South Africa as in the animation department. But of course, like I explained earlier on, well, I didn't explain that before, but there's a lot of aspects of the animation industry. So I was working in the studio. I started as an intern and all of those things, 2007, that was. But I wasn't animating. I was in the layout and optimization. So everything you've seen there, they didn't just arrive there by their own. Some people placed them the correct way, shipped them, reduce this. If the rock is too heavy, reduce it. If the weed are too much, you make them look real but lighter in render. Otherwise, there's something called render when you hit the button and say, cook the food. I've done my bit. And you don't want it to be cooking a 5 minutes food for 2 days, because then you can't hit your target. You want it to cook for 5 minutes. So you say, you know what? Just add a little bit of bay leaf there and a sprinkle of salt. That means that you don't have to add this and this. That's going to give you that taste. So when people eat it, they will think you've added this. But if I add this, it's going to take me 2 hours to cook. Just add a bit of bay leaf. And that's what optimization is. Just make it lighter and you won't see the difference. And the layout, you're going to say, this guy is standing here. There's meant to be a rock behind him. But that rock was here. I'm just going to move that rock, put it behind him, and then you're going to think he's still or she's still facing that back in that rock. But I have to put the rock there. So you don't need to know that there are no rocks all around them, because I've just moved the rock from there, here, and when they turn this way, I quickly move the rock back there. So you just see that there's a rock all around this person, but you don't know that somebody had to move it there behind this, not behind the scene, but in production. So that's what layout and optimization is. And of course, the animators are there. Too many people, too many functionaries in that department. So Triggerfish, I could have got Triggerfish to speak to us today. He's a South African man, but he's now living in Ireland. He wasn't the one coming down, but he's now living in Ireland. And I'm very grateful to, his name is Stuart Forrest. Thanks, Stuart. He linked me up to Lucasfilms. And yeah, if we are ready, if we cannot play Twano right now, can we play Twano? So we will do Twano, the anthology, and then we will go to Luanda. That's the next one. I think that's the one from Uganda, miss. That name sounds, I think that's one from Uganda. But we would say it, and thank you so much. There's no, okay, by this, thank God I have seen this. This is you, the children here, this is just you, a parental guidance thing. Animation, the one I try to do here, is not necessarily a children thing, but they can have their enjoyment. So if children are asking questions, explain to them. This is telling you the story about Zimbabwe, Rhodesia. If you know what that is, you know what it might be talking about. Children won't understand, but adults will understand, and all of those things. So that's what it is. There's no, I'm not a party to everything that's been vetted by myself and curated, so you're watching something that is not taking you elsewhere. But children, if you have questions, ask your mom, they can explain to you nicely. But all of this is just make-believe. Thank you. Round of applause, please.
Nenzo kuimbira pamene wenze mumimba. Koma siku yamene unabwera paziko. ninangogwira maloto mmanja. All I had to show for my motherhood was the broken promises I made to you in my songs. You were so quiet. You were so quiet.
Wongani mwana wane.
Ambuya, why would our ancestors do this to me?
I wish I had the answers. If the ancestors are punishing you, it would be wise to learn why.
Chikululukiro cha mina nifuna ine, nchochokera chape kumwana wanga. I'm in no mood to dance.
Pakulia siaba, nga wapilika imoza iheni mumulomo, ziyose siaba okuzitunya. Kwene, chintu chimoza nga chakunangikira, ungaonanga gati vyonse vintu vyanangika cha. Ukane kusomelezya masuzo ya kale, kuti yakunangire madazi ya sono. Now that your cleansing is over, it is now time for healing.
Is that the one? Yes, is she the one who lost the child? Yes, she's the one.
Ambuya.
Ukane kusomelezya masuzo ya kale, kuti yakunangire madazi ya sono.
Tifuni moja, uzamsamilila kusengela.
Chikululukiro cha mina nifuna ine, nchochokera chape kumwana wanga.
Sikuli moja, uzamsamilila kusengela. Sikuli moja, uzamsamilila
Kuchimbila lulilo, kupambana pepo. Oh, oh, kupambana pepo. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Kupambana pepo. Oh, oh, kupambana pepo. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Bazungu banabwela and planted their flags on our land. They told us everything we knew and did was evil. Wanatitengera mtendere, they took our lives, our freedom. So when they colored our soils red, we turned their skies amber. Tonight, they will dance to the tune of our song. Nimbo za meneswa za kaibala, a song they will never forget.
Won't you calm down? Tonight we settle this for good. Just leave water to me. Where's he? We are so close.
We don't use our real names.
I can feel it. You've led us this far. Thanks to you, we're so much closer to freedom. Ninombali nefinish not to fika.
Dear, it's time to go. Muanga.
I'm alright. I'm not alright. You monkeys have gotten cocky, eh? You're now destroying mental clinics? Aslo. Ah, so you must be the one they call Molto. I expected more. Look around you, boy. Look at your friends. You're all like sheep, It didn't take much to convince all of you that everything we do is better.
Go for the way I'm on the beat and I'm a psycho. And you don't want none of this crazy. I be knocking them down like bowling pins. I strike like a protest, baby. They don't want to step to me. None of them could be a
Really have some fight in you.
Stop coming and I ain't coming. I'm ready to take down any adversary. I ain't got no worry. I'm a beast. This is my playground. If you secondary, I'ma chop you down into some beef, homie. Don't be messing with me, homie. I got OCD, so I'm gonna be rearranging your teeth, homie. Tap, tap, tap.
What is this about? Are you upset that you don't own your own clinics? All you can do is ask. After all, the whole lot of you should be admitted in a mental ward for thinking any of this nonsense will change anything. Bet not even you think a bunch of dancing and singing can help you keep your act together. Primitive shites!
You can take our land and our culture, but we will never stop fighting.
Well, I'll be. I've been pummeling a woman. It was not a bloke at all. That explains so much. There's something different about you. Your parents must have hid you away because you aren't like anyone else. Kudos to you. You can actually lead a failing revolution.
No.
Where's he?
They took everything. Everything.
I know. But we'll fight them another day.
You're right, Muanga. We are stronger together.
No wonder it's bad manners to play with your food. Bloody hell. Let the Queen know about this.
This is the third of the anthology, all in one at the same studio.
Another one down, isn't it? And now, you're all alone. Even your parents think you're crazy. You could have helped steal me. And now it's all your fault. Already tried this. Susie Selenza. Men don't cry, so get over it.
Hey, I'm here for you, okay? Listen, class is about to start. It would be great if we can go together.
You're bothering her, you know. She has better things to do.
All right. I'll leave the stuff I borrowed.
What do you think you're doing? You're wasting your time. Your friends are studying. You know, Mom and Dad were just right about you. You're nothing but a problem. So you think this will do anything?
Okay, she loves you. She cares about you, and
so you won't have time. See if Pangana sense feeling.
I'm writing how I feel.
So you read something online and you think it's going to help you?
It doesn't have to.
Stop!
Can you shut up?
You are the reason everything is going wrong in your life. Tionge died because of you. Your family doesn't understand you. And your girlfriend.
Can you shut up?
You're not okay, and you're too weak to do anything about it.
There's nothing wrong with that.
So you think this will do anything? It won't work.
Yeah, that's true, but I'll try. Let me catch up with her.
Mbidi ya kufuna ndiseke mas Disaone Disaziwe Kutindine Opambana I've been asleep for too long I didn't know I can do it all My pen don't make me who I am I'll shine there with no my name Yeah, they can't stop me Watch me, take off, I'll be where they catch me They can't touch me, heading to the top. I'll be where the stars be.
If we can, we have a quick call to somebody from Ghana on an online call, just 5-10 minutes conversation. He's a creative himself, but we'll see how that goes. Thank you.
Chika kumana timango sekelela Ngatizo sezili bwina Ngatizo sezili mala If you can dream it,
we
you
have to
can
let
do
it credit
it.
roll.
Gotta
That's
stay
what we
strong,
feel
do your part and
appreciated.
believe, yeah. You a star, never let anybody tell you who you are.
On the shores of our great lake of Africa, there have been lifetimes of clashes between us Sido people and our Lango neighbors. This is the story of someone who tried to bring peace to our land. And that someone is my grandson, Luanda Bageri. Danny. Both his parents were already gone, lost in these wars. He was small and poor in everything but spirit. These were dark times. All I heard was him, and all he heard was me. Danny! But even in his grief, He did all he could to defend and feed his people. Gisechiew, in be nyaka koro ichiew. Chiew!
Chiew, chung, nyathina jou osesandore. Aserito mondo amigi thuon majaritgi. Ng'at ma ong'eyo ni tekruok ma dhano ok ni e chal mar dende to ni ei chunye. Aseyieri Luanda Magere. Omiyo koro amiyi teko moro makende. Pien dendi biro bedo matek ka kidi. Tekri biro chalo gi mar ji 10. To tiponi kende ema nobed nyawo mari. Pand maling' ni kendo kik iful ne ng'ato ang'ata wachni. To in idongri. Kichayo mano to gimomiyi ibiro kawo.
Asingora nabiro tiyo gi michgi e yo maber kendo makare. With Luanda as our hero, our people prospered. Our village grew, our enemies were defeated, and peace finally returned to our land. And as he grew older, it came Luanda's time to settle in marriage. His aunt chose for him the loyal and hardworking Adhiambo. Amor kodi Luanda, ikelo kwe gi mor ne jowa. Bed motegno, bed maler. But as he kept getting so much praise, his ego began to grow. He began to raid the Lango and steal their cattle even in times of plenty. Ne ikwong'ori ni biro tiyo gi gwethni e yo makare. Kawuono to ne idwa so lweti e mach ahinya kendo ne ok ber kata matin. Dera riembe inyiedho king'iyo rangach. Winja maber Luanda, chien kiyany. Ji ma ok winj duond joma dongo chalo gi yiende maonge tiendgi. Ich lach be nonego kal tako.
Piny kawuono ber gi monjo jolang'o manade. Dwacha mang'o godiechieng', diel, dhiang', rombo. Mano nie wiya.
The Lango realized they could never defeat Luanda in battle, but they had to stop him somehow, so they made a plan. The Lango sent word to the Sido people that they wanted to make peace. Luanda was happy to hear that his enemies had come begging for mercy. After declaring Luanda Magere as the greatest of all known warriors, the Lango offered him their most beautiful daughter, Chebet, in exchange for peace.
Jaber jahula, ineno ni nyakuber gi kawange to kare piero wa.
But Luanda ignored the warning. As time went on, Luanda and Chebet grew closer. One day after a successful hunt, Chebet offered Luanda some beer to celebrate. Always sober, Luanda refused as usual.
Tu tenotilia. Mamingi. Machi linchani yo Luanda magere no ne papi gap sitho maiwe. Anju bagiro cholot. Mamingi. Tom kai ko paro kon murian maiwe. Bagitar. Kiro cholo lipa.
Moro kendo. Moro. 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 Moro.
Luanda manoromo. Iparo ni Dani do wacho nango.
Winja maber. Ng'ad tipo nagi iwiya, kasto irudh yedhegi e yie.
Thinking nothing of the secret he had revealed, Luanda went off to hunt again. And the very next day, the Lango attacked.
Naparo ni romi ginedwaro kwe.
Ujinga tutamiri milioni.
Ereta kocha. Abiro tieki modieka, tieki. Ine mintoga.
This stone, the body of Luanda, still stands today near the Great Lake for all to see. May you learn some important lessons from this story of my grandson. And may we one day have everlasting peace in our land.
This is from, we scored our last one, and this is from Ghana. And yeah, so everyone has come from our song, we score. I try not to score our song because it's a bigger studio.
Deep in the space of
else.
time, there lived two friends.
And this is the same guy who done the first one that we saw at the start, which is trying to, the teaser. This is the same guy. His name is Zaint Amposa.
Kwesi, an Adam, they hunted together. trained together and did almost everything together. After intense battle won by their kingdom under the rule of Nana Okundo II, the inseparable friends ranked up and became very close guards to His Highness. However, not all were too welcoming with their achievements. Tension rose on an old but memorable day when the king discovered that the royal golden cup has gone missing from his palace. Adam is accused of being the main culprit and declares his innocence, but evidence is brought before the king. Furious and disappointed, the king orders for Adam's immediate execution. Quincy pleads for mercy as he asks the king to pardon his sentence. The king agrees to this pardon, but demands Quincy would return in 7 days with Enchanter's stone deeply hidden in the Forbidden Forest. Quincy boldly vows to take this deadly quest. And so it seems that our hero finally makes his return on time with the Enchanter's Stone. The king, in total dismay, asks the stone to reveal its secrets. The stone enchants his chief warrior and he confesses. Disappointed, sentences his chief warrior to exile. Amazed at Quisi's desperate courage to save his friend, the king finally makes these two friends rulers of his kingdom.
Hello. Thank you so much, guys. Can I do a quick sound check? No, a quick test. How is this experience so far? Honestly, I know you have your reviews on there you could take, but you've given up your Saturdays and time of watching online, and you've given up your time. We just don't want you to be sat here and, okay, just watch something and sit down. I know that there's some meaning to it. But before I carry on, we've had some meal. How was that? What would you rate that meal out of 17? Highly recommended. That sounds like 18 over 17. Beautiful. Thank you so much. The woman behind, can you please come forward if you don't mind? She has she doesn't want to be on camera, I think, but her name is Sugar. She's from Nigeria, and she's from the northern Nigeria, and she's teaching me some Hausa, you know, and she has done the honors of this. She's gone over and above what was, I wouldn't say pay because I didn't pay her, what was given towards this. She's gone over and above. So thank you so much. Talk about your business for a second.
My name is Sugar. My business name is Sugar Delights. I'm a caterer. Oh, sorry. I don't know how to hold a microphone. My name is Sugar. I'm a caterer, and I catered for this event, supporting my brother because I believe in what he's doing. And to make everyone comfortable, we all need food. Yeah? So, yeah, my name is Sugar. Sugar Delights is my business. Caterer, small chops, Nigerian food, anything you need, holler at me, ask him, he will tell you. Thank you all for enjoying my meal.
Thank you so much. And this is the kid here. The husband just left not long ago. He just told me he had to run. So I appreciate you so much. And she's still got another thing to do right now. So she's rushing off to go complete that catering as well. If you need to reach her, audience here, please reach me and would reach her. Right now we're gonna go. We're gonna have a quick, a brief moment of to talk to some of these animators online. So if we have a Google Meet online, I would see if has anyone have they joined? Have they joined? Yeah, let me step aside. Picture in picture in picture. It's getting too much. Okay. There's a request to join. I think we got to join first, right? And then we got to. But can we see? We can't see him, right? We can't. Okay. The camera is looking on itself. Yeah. Let's admit all. Thank you. Right. Okay. Got it. So yeah. Thank you so much. This is Kwame Michael Bracco. I'll let you introduce yourself in a bit. I know you can't see me, but you can hear my voice. And right up there is Zengs and Ponsa.
Hello.
Yeah, hello. Hello, Michael. Can you hear me?
Yes, hello, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Give a brief introduction of yourself first, then we go to Zenks.
Okay, yeah, great. My name is Kwame Michael Bracco, originally from Accra, raised in California, but now residing in Cape Coast, Ghana. I have a lot of background work in graphic design, visual effects, and animation. I've worked on about 20 films, including The Avengers, Iron Man, G.I. Joe, Godzilla, and many more, and currently working on independent animated series called The Lost Comb of Mawu out of here in Ghana. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, we showed the last come of Maui last year, and it was well accepted. We showed it here last year, so yeah. If you were here last year, Gideon, you were here. We showed last. That's him. And the what we just saw right now, which is the very first one, the very first showed the Guardian. We just said was a teaser, and the one we just saw right now, Edems. Right, and this man here, Zenks. Please introduce yourself quickly, if you can hear me.
Hello. Yes, okay. Hello, Zeno from I'm an illustrator. So I've been doing animation for the past 10 years now. I've worked on a lot of projects and currently I'm working on my leading project titled The Crusader, which is the teaser which you just saw.
Right. Thank you so much. Your volume is not the best, or your microphone or something out there. But what we brought those people, yeah. So if you can look into that. But we brought them on just for about 5 minutes, so we can ask them questions. These are practitioners. These are people in the industry. Michael Bratko, he's given you his resume. He's done a whole lot, Avengers and all of those things. And you've just seen what Zeng Ponsa has done. So if there be any questions, would you only go about 5 minutes with them? If we have any questions, then we will field any questions from you, so they can just, or they can give a reaction to it. So, yep, anybody? That's why we brought them here in the first place. So from what we've seen, what we want to know, what we want to just hear from them, whatever it is. They just go 5 minutes. Okay, we got somebody here first.
Hi, Say. My name is Nadia. I just wanted to know, how was your experience? I'm talking to Kwame. How was your experience of moving from mainstream California?
Oh, sorry, I don't hear anything currently.
Or can it be tried?
Hello?
Yeah, sorry, I can't hear properly. Can you repeat?
Okay. I was asking, how was the experience of moving from mainstream animation and filmmaking from California to Cape Coast? And from what I understand, you're working more independently now. So how was the change, the experience?
Did you get that?
Vaguely.
All right. How was your experience moving from California, LA, California, to Cape Coast, and you're working independently now? It does seem. So how is the transition for you? That's the question. As a creative.
Oh, I mean, yeah. The transition has been pretty decent. I come with a lot of background in what I do, and because I've worked on such major films, it's helped my transition here in terms of meeting community members that work on visual effects and animation. I'm slowly still working on building the team here, but with the correct marketing that I've been doing on my TikToks and whatnot, I get plenty of creatives that are interested in either interning, working for, or just learning under my belt. With Ghana being a place that's growing vastly in film and animation. There's so many lucrative opportunities that are happening. Everything from creating animations that preserve the history, the culture, even children's animations. So I think it's been a good move to do it where I don't face as much. Um, I don't face as much. I'm looking for the word. Too much resistance or too much competition in, per se. Whereas in Los Angeles, you have thousands of us trying to do some sort of animations, but in Ghana, trying to do animation that actually includes some of the culture and history tends to get quite a bit of support. And so, yeah, the transition has been pretty decent. I feel like Ghana has a lot of opportunity to be in the front and center of animation and gaming.
Right. Thank you, Kwame. What would you like me to call you, Kwame or Michael? I call you Michael normally, but what would you like?
Kwame is fine.
Kwame is
Yes,
fine.
Kwame is fine.
Yeah, Ghana's got the opportunity to be there, the forefront of animation. Is that before Nigeria or after?
Can you say it again?
Is that going to be before Nigeria or after Nigeria for Ghana to be the forefront? Is that before or after Nigeria? Which of the two?
Oh, well, I think if I hear you correctly, I think Nigeria is ahead in terms of animation. We have, which is this new, is it Iwaju, I think, that has been on Netflix and received several awards. I've seen some animations coming out of there. I'm pretty impressed with what's coming out of there. So I would say Ghana has a way to go before we catch up with Nigeria.
Kwame, because we tried to get UIG on this, but we haven't got the response we needed. So maybe next year they will respond to us. But that was a joke, by the way. I wasn't trying to cause any turf wars. And the lady who asked the question, unfortunately, you can't see her. She's an Italian, right? But her husband is Ghanaian. So, yeah. And yeah, you probably can see her. But we got quite a few Ghanaians in the house, I believe, watching right now. So,
shout out Ghana.
Yeah, and that's why I have both of you on screen. Zengs, I'm going to ask you quickly. We saw your teaser at the start. Can you tell us about that? Hopefully your audio is going to be clear. Can you tell us about your teaser and where you're taking that to? And this is on live stream, so everybody hears what you're saying, hopefully.
Okay, so basically, the teaser talks about between this kind of like the conflict going between Yas and Tua, which is the main character we see, is actually inspired by true story, by history. I mean, so what I'm trying to do is to create a stories around Yas and Tua as a leader, because in African history, there's this stereotype that women can't lead. And in our history, we had a period where a woman actually led. So with this story, I'm trying to show that I'm not just focusing on the war side, but also trying to focus on the daughter-mother relationship. So with the teaser, you could see that the daughter was crying. And so I was trying to also establish like the daughter relationship. So she's just trying to make a decision whether being there for her daughter or fulfilling her duty as a queen. That's protecting the people from.
Let me cut in there. Let me cut in there quickly if you can hear me. You told me that you want to do Kickstarter. Is it from how soon is that? A Kickstarter campaign for it.
Yes, we plan to launch it's on Kickstarter this Wednesday.
This Wednesday coming.
Unfortunately, we will need to put it a bit. Probably early next year, first quarter of 2026.
And how long do you reckon it's going to take you to finish this when you start early?
Come again?
How long do you reckon it's going to take you to finish this from start to end in the actual production? A year,
yes,
2,
so
3 months?
we are aiming for top quality, so we are looking at between 8 months to a year.
All right.
Because we are doing hand-drawn. That's the technique we are doing.
Okay,
and we want
animation.
it to be like close to the Disney style to prove that we can produce that kind of quality here.
Right. Thank you so much. I'm going to let all you guys go now. I think we got one more thing to see, and that'll be the end, and I'm aware of time. If you're watching at home live or you're going to be watching this later, if you need to reach Kwame Michael Bracco, he's got a big CV behind him, and he's one of the pride of Africa, in my opinion, because for what he's done in LA, coming down to, sorry, give me a second. Okay, we got one more question. Just a word of a time, we'll go one more question. All right, so we'll go one more question for you guys. But after the question, we'll just run it up because I don't want to infringing your time and the time we have in this space as well. So let me go quickly to that next question.
Sorry, anyone can answer this, either Michael or Zeno. Yeah, so it's about, I mean, you can't see the audience, but we have quite a significant number of teenagers and younger adults, younger children. So what would be your advice for any of them who's interested in going your way?
Did you get a question? What would be your advice for any teenager, younger person who's trying to go this direction? Either of you can answer. Can't hear you, Michael.
Sorry, you said what would be the advice for what?
For there are quite a few teenagers and younger people in the audience, which you can't see. What would be your advice if any one of them aspiring to go this direction that you are going on right now? Both of you.
Practice, practice, practice. And animation and visual effects are a broad scope. So you need to take time in figuring which you have more passion about. Some people might think, oh, I want to be a character animator. But once you start the process, you may find it can be a little bit intuitive. But then maybe you might find that you enjoy doing environment art. So take time to explore and practice. And one thing that I've always learned and lived by is it's better to be prepared and have an opportunity than it's better to be prepared and have no opportunity than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. So practice and just fill up as much in your skill set as you can.
Thank you so much. Your skill set. Zanks, any final word or last word before we let you go about the question? And if there are none, I'll just say that if you need to reach out to any of them, like it's on live stream right now, both of them are in Ghana. If you go on Instagram, you would see Kwame Michael Bracco. Just search for him. And there is the TAASE, which is us, this event at TAASE Festival or TAASE Fest, TAASE, AASE. Search for it, reach out to us, connect you to either of them on their Instagram. I have them directly on WhatsApp. That's a privilege I have.
Yes.
I only give
Kwame
you...
Bracco. Oh.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
Kwame Bracco Art is my all my socials.
Kwame Bracco Art. Kwame Bracco Art. That's him.
Zenks Pro is at my Instagram. Zenks Pro.
Zenks Pro. But if you reach out to us, you find either of them through us, or you can look at search them directly. Well, thank you guys for your time. Well, I appreciate you, both of you. And I will talk to you behind the scene later on, but thanks for coming in. We'll go on one last shot right now, which is also from Ghana. So we'll go on to part one of that. It's the Guardians. So yeah, thank you so much, everybody. And guys, see you. Bye-bye.
All right, thank you.
Cheers.
Long ago, the mighty gods Nyame, Ananse, and Asasia watched over our land, protecting it from war and chaos. The people of the Gold Coast lived in peace and harmony. Our land was a paradise, overflowing with rich resources and endless possibilities. The gods blessed us abundantly, ensuring that our crops flourished, our rivers ran full, and our communities thrived. But alas, as all things must eventually change, the gods decided it was time to depart from our kingdom and leave to their realm. So once the gods departed, chaos and darkness descended upon our land. Without the watchful eyes and guiding hands of the gods, the Gold Coast fell into darkness. Our people faced heartache, loss, and turmoil as war tore through our once peaceful land. So, stories passed down generations whisper that perhaps the gods are not happy with us. And that is why we do not receive the showers of blessings anymore.
Say, are the gods still alive?
The mystery remains, Safi. But legend has it that the god still watches over us.
See, I don't think the gods are real.
And what makes you think that?
God never leaves his people, right? But then we live in a world where people can't help but feel alone. If the gods were real, we'll at least feel their presence even if they were not here.
Well, Kofi, beliefs can differ from person to person. Some folks might strongly believe in the existence of the gods, while others may not be so convinced, which is very acceptable, you know. In the meantime, let's keep an open mind and continue discussing this topic. Legend says there is a mystical stone that has 4 symbols representing the gods, and it awaits discovery within the very borders of our beloved Gold Coast, where the stone was said to be placed centuries ago for safekeeping. But however, countless have tried but failed to uncover its true location. Have fun, class, and see you next week. Bye.
Yo, Charlie guys, wanna go to the art center later?
Sure. Anything for adventure. Let's go, guys, to the art center.
Yo, but I thought you were not interested in the gods.
Well, people's minds change all the time.
Life in Accra is like a rhythm you cannot ignore. Busy streets, lively chatter, and a vibrant blend of old ways and new dreams. Ghana isn't just where we live, it's who we are. Our stories, traditions, and the beauty of the land remind us of our roots. And don't get me started on the food. Every bite of jollof, gobe, kenke, Chris Brown is like tasting home itself. So we were going to the art center, a place where the soul of Ghana lives. I'll tell you something. So, you know how history has a way of pulling you in, especially when you least expect it. That's what Mr. Mensah's story about the gods had done to all of us. It had lit a spark that we didn't even know we had, and we couldn't help but want to know more. That art center is more than just a museum. It's a time machine. Every corner has something to teach. Ancient artifacts, stories carved into wood, and paintings that seem to whisper forgotten tales. It is a reminder of who we are as Ghanaians. So, Na is the spark of our group. She's bubbly and full of energy, yet she fiercely protects those she loves. And then there's Omar, whose curiosity always led us into the most unexpected adventures. And of course, Kofi, our class clown. He pretends not to care about anything, but deep down, I know he loves a good story just as much as all of us. Finally, me. He would almost never hear my voice, except for now, of course. I'd rather be quiet and enjoy the conversations between the others. I'll tell you something for free, though. You do not want to get to my bad side.
Fighting for our land, fighting for our land, yeah. And the universal law. Take care until we meet, we gonna make it
of course, could not resist being Kofi. But I guess that's why we love him. His silliness is the glue that keeps us laughing, even when things get serious. It is places like this that reminds us of the importance of preserving our culture. Our history is rich and vibrant, but if we don't protect it, who will? Monuments like this museum are vital, but I've always thought we could do more, like telling our stories through film, especially animation. Imagine seeing our gods and legends come alive on screen for the whole world to see. And just like that, the air changed.
You hear it too, right?
Kofi, the power.
The soft hum of history gave way to something alive.
Yo, why did the chant suddenly stop?
Now,
Huh. What's this place?
in the heart of the museum, we found something that wasn't in any of the exhibits. Almost as if it had been waiting for us all along. We did not know it yet, but everything was about to change.
What is hidden opens its heart on the second step, when hands move in harmony.
There's a mystical stone that has 4 symbols representing the gods, and it awaits discovery within the very borders of our beloved Gold Coast.
Hey, guys, the stone is right here.
Coffee, wait, drop it.
Restore the harmony and peace that has been lost. Restore the harmony and peace that has been lost.
Wake up to the chaos in the community. The chosen ones call us and we'll be there in a minute. Always can run, but you cannot do it for infinity.
We have come to what is the end of this year's the African Animated Shorts Experience. We'll let the credit roll. Like I said, it's doing justice to the people who's worked on it. Stand in the light so you can see me a little bit. Right. So, the question now is, I know you filled forms out you voted and everything, but might as well do it a different way. There's a part 2 to this, but we're not able to see the part 2 right now. Okay, so we're just doing it in a different way. What one stands out for you out of everything? Let's just do that here, now and then. Or what few ones? Yeah. On everything, it's set on the story, the quality, the engagement, the visual display. Yeah, it's all what it is to you, you know. So what one? Yeah, for what story? That's what we'll this one in particular, the Guardian. Okay, we got Twano, we got this one, right? Okay, so anybody else? What one? If there's anything different, yeah. What one? Our song. Yeah, our song is beautiful. I'm not going to be voting our song simply because it is Lucasfilms. They're one of the biggest around. Nobody stands a chance around them. So we just give them their due respect where they are. And yeah. So anything else? Yeah. Say again? Star Wars 1. That's the same as our song. It's brilliant. You can't match their quality. Nobody can match their quality. So this last one is one that stands for you. It's actually longer than the part 2, but we're only showing part 1. Anybody? There was Twano as well along the line. Yeah? Yellow K for the message. Okay. Yeah. Edem. Okay. So if there are any others? No Twano? Yeah. Twano for you. I like Twano to myself. But as it is right now, we have more going for Guardian, this one, than Twano. And even on the scoring sheet they've had a look at, wherever there is Twano, there's Guardian, or there's just Guardian alone, and this is this one that you're saying. So, and then there's Luanda as well. 1 or 2 people said it, but yeah. So I think based on that, we will give it up to Twano for winning this year's edition. That's all the way from Ghana. Your trophy is there. I just don't have all the time to run to that place and break it now. But well done to you, Twano. And surprisingly, he only submitted this just a couple of days ago when we got talking, and there we go. So, yeah. And on that note, and everybody say me at home, thank you for being part of TAASE 2025. And again, I want to say special thanks to Nutcase's studio, who has been instrumental and supportive in providing, in being able to provide the food as well, the support there with a bit of fun, and other people both. Thank you, Nutcase's studio. You'll hear more of them very, very soon. And thank you, everybody. We're 3 minutes over, 4 minutes, 2 minutes over time. But thank you, everybody, for today. Feel free to interact and mingle on the way out. And yeah. If anybody wants to say something, feel free, but thank you so much. Appreciate you, appreciate your time, appreciate everybody. We're going to come back next year bigger and stronger. And those of you at home or wherever you are, and those who are going to watch it again later, thank you for being part of us. Follow TAASE Festival, TAASE Fest on Instagram, and then we can get more information about this. All right, thanks for all the entries. Bye-bye. See ya.